This is the beginning of my heart-to-heart video, and I wanted to share with you, through the course of the 3 years that I've shared my heart-to-hearts, I've shared a lot of topics and I've shared a lot of things with people. My heart-to-hearts are generally known for my feelings and my thoughts of that week. Some of the topics are quite hilarious and funny, and while other topics are very serious. It wasn't too long ago that somebody contacted me that was a large channel, and they congratulated me on the growth of my channel. And they said a few things. They said, remember, don't ever share your personal life and always keep it as a generic. And your personal life means you're very unprofessional. You know, that statement couldn't be any less true. I realized by sharing my personal life, that is what made my channel the way it is. And while it may not look professional, you know what? People don't want professional. People want real life, no matter what it is. And I really want to thank everyone for watching my heart-to-hearts. Because my heart-to-hearts, I do step on some people's toes sometimes. I do say things, but you know what? There are always things that I am working on in my life. They're things that I'm learning. They're lessons that I've learned. And through my heart-to-hearts is where I've touched people the most. Through my heart-to-hearts that's where I touch people the most. Every single week, my heart-to-hearts is what's really touching people. As someone on YouTube that's very fresh and very new. And while I may not be professional, I am me, and I share my life with all of you. I'm saying all of this because I want you to hear my video, what I'm going to share with you. I want you to hear me clearly. I want you to listen to the words that I say, because there are things that I think that need to be said. It's not easy doing the heart-to-hearts. It's the hardest thing I have to do, because I have to get on camera and I have to think what I want to say, and I want to weigh my words wisely. You can get on camera and you can just talk all you want. But then when you look back on it, do you say things that you wish you wouldn't have said? So when I have my heart-to-hearts, I really try to focus on them. I try to focus on what am I saying, how am I presenting myself, and how do I appear to the public. While it's not professional, it is my heart, and that is my heart-to-hearts. And this week is no different. So the following video that you're going to see is something that's really been on my mind. As a content creator, I see a lot of things that go on in the world. A lot of you watch videos, you don't know anything about YouTube. You don't know anything about the big world of YouTube and all of the different videos. A lot of people don't share the things like I share. A lot of people just share their channel, share what their content is. They don't go beyond the four walls of their home and don't share about things that they see on the internet or things they see in the world. But for me, I want to be different. I've always been different, and this is what I want to share with all of you, because it's something that I am learning, something that I'm growing on, something that is really changing my perspective on life. And I think that when I share it with all of you, it maybe make you think. I have all kinds of people that watch my channel. I have people that have the faith that I do. I have atheists that watch my channel. This is fundamentally true to all people. We are human. And so the things that I want to share with you doesn't necessarily mean it has to be of a religious nature. These are lessons that everyone can learn. And these are just fundamental facts of human nature and things that we can learn, we can grow on, and we can become better people as a people in general. Somebody said something that really made me think. He said, you know what, of all things, Tessie, you do make us think. That's what I want it to be. I want to make you think. I know everything I say is not 100% the way it is. And I know I have opinions that many of you don't have. But you know what? If we can come together as a people and we can learn from each other, we can take the wisdom of each other, what a better world we would live in. And while I'm always learning every single day, things that maybe some of you have learned as a child, we're always learning, we're always growing, and we're always trying to enrich our lives and try to become better people. At least that's my prayer anyway. I hope that everyone that sees this video will watch it and want to learn from it and want to glean from it and want to become more wise through it. I know there are people that watch my videos and only to pick it apart, to see what I have to say, to take my words out of context. That's how life will always be. No matter where you are in the public arena or even in your real life, people will always pick and choose what they want to hear. But I hope the majority of you, like always on every Sunday, you hear me, you hear my heart, you hear my love for all of you. So here is my video for this week. Welcome to another Heart to Heart. It's hard to believe another week has just flown by so quickly. And today's title, I'm sure, got a lot of people interested in it. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about appearances can be deceiving. And what in the world am I going to talk about? And I bet a lot of you are biting your nails thinking, oh no, she's not going there. Yeah, I'm going there. My heart to hearts, I share with you things that I'm struggling with. I share with you my experiences during the week. I share with you all kinds of things that I'm thinking about as the week goes by. And this week is no different. And I want to share with you a little bit about appearances can be deceiving and about how we as a general public body shame so many people. What does body shaming mean? Well, it means that you make fun of somebody else for their appearance, the way they talk or where they look, or things that they can't help with. And body shaming is something that is not just in a certain age group, it's everyone. The invention of the internet, body shaming is so much worse. So many people will get on and type nasty, mean messages to others because you can't see their face. You can't see what they look like. So they feel like they're protected and being able to be mean. But body shaming has two different aspects to it. You're going to be surprised what I'm going to say about the second part of body shaming. But the first part we all know. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But that doesn't seem to be the rule nowadays. It seems like no matter where you go or what you do, somebody's always body shaming someone else. And you know, that's a real sad thing because none of us are perfect. None of us have perfect bodies or perfect looks. In fact, even the most beautiful person in the world, somebody would have something horrible to say about that person. I did a video a long time ago where I was looking into the mirror and I was talking to myself about this subject. And I will share with you right now above. Body shaming is something that is not just affect women. So you guys, wait a minute. Before you click off this video, I want you to stick around a little. It affects you too. It affects all of us, no matter who we are. Sometimes when people are upset with one another, that's the first thing they do is they say, well, I didn't like her anyway. Look at her. She's too fat. She's too thin. She's too short. She's too tall. Look how she eats. Look how she talks. Look how she moves her body. Nobody is immune to it, and everybody has dealt with it in one sense or another. Come on, I'm sure you've been around people that all of a sudden the conversation turned from the weather to who and what's going on here. These are things that affect all of us, even the men. You know, as a man gets older, so does his testosterone get lower. And so a lot of times the men will look upon other men and they will say, oh, well, look at him, or, oh, well, wow, look at him. It's not just a female thing. It's everyone. We all look at each other and we all look to see how we are. Through the years, I have changed my looks quite a bit. I want to share with you right now this photo. This photo was taken over 20 years ago, and this was me. A lot of me has changed, but a lot of me hasn't changed. And then I lost 100 pounds. In the beginning of my YouTube videos, I was so much thinner. And now I gained a lot of it back. When I lost all of my weight, I was very sick, and I had to go to the hospital with something life-threatening. And so my weight loss, although I loved the way I looked, it was because I was sick and I couldn't eat. I lost all that weight. Someone said in a public way to my husband, he said, don't you just love her a little more now since she's so much thinner? That really hurt my feelings because it was very untactful. And also, I am the same person in my heart, whether I'm a size 22, size 2. These are things that we need to learn and we need to work on in our lives about body shaming someone else. Just because we don't like a person doesn't mean that gives us a right to body shame them or to make fun of the way they look, act, or dress. These things belittle ourselves because when we start talking about someone else and body shaming the way they are, we really are reflecting a bad reflection on ourselves. There's going to be people that make fun of you. There's always going to be people that make fun of you. But if you turn around and do the same thing to them, then you're no better than them. My mother always told me something, and it's such a juvenile lesson, but it's a lesson that we all need to learn. 2 wrongs never make a right. At times in my life, I did do wrong. I try always to make it right. We need to learn to see people through other people's eyes. And body shaming someone else, it doesn't get you anywhere. It only reflects badness. But I bet you're all sitting there thinking, well, I'm not like that. I don't body shame people. I don't talk about people. But let me tell you what, I bet you're just as guilty. How many times do you body shame yourself? How many times do you look at yourself in the mirror and think, oh, wow, oh, that's ugly, oh, I don't look the way I used to. Oh, look at my face, it's so much fatter. I do that, and I'm sure many of you do. We look upon ourselves and we look upon someone else and think, oh, if only I could lose weight like she does, or if only I could do what she does, if only I could not age like she does. So many times we body shame ourselves, and that's just no different than body shaming someone else. When's the last time you looked in the mirror and said, I like who I am, I like the way I look? It's something that takes a lot of devotion. It's something that takes a lot of working on to get to that point. I've got to that point where I can look in the mirror. Although I wish I was thinner, I wish I was younger, I look into the mirror and I say, you know what, Tessie? I like the way you are. I like the clothes you wear. I like the skin that you're in. It took me 49 years to get to that point. But once you love yourself for who you are, you just relieve so much stress in your life. It's like a weight is lifted off your shoulders. In this world, we're expected to look a certain way, to act a certain way, to be a certain way. But who says you need to be that way? Look at Hollywood and they tell you you need to do this, you need to do that. Oh, you need to get a facelift or a tummy tuck. You need to get that hair fixed properly, you know, to fit in the style. Who says what's in style? Who says that you have to have your face nice and thin? And who says you need to wear a certain brand of clothing? We are all made different. We're human. We're different. We're different in every sense of the way. So why not embrace that differentness in each other? These are things that I am learning. And although I love who I become and I love who I am, that doesn't mean that there's things that we don't work on in our life. Every single day I stumble and make mistakes. Every single day I do things, and after I've done them, I know I shouldn't. But I always get up and I always ask for forgiveness and I move on from it and I try to be a better person. So many times in this world, other people think that you need to be perfect. You need to be perfect. You need to have the perfect life. You need to talk perfect. You need to conduct yourself perfect. You don't need to have any feelings. You don't need to have any emotions. But that's wrong. And sharing our imperfections means we're sharing ourselves. I stumble through my words, and so I repeat myself. And so some words are hard for me to pronounce. That's my weaknesses. What are yours? We all have weaknesses in our life. Every single one of us do. Some of our weaknesses are things we were born with. Some of our weaknesses are things that we learnt. Sadly, we learnt by example. And some of our weaknesses are just things that we allowed ourselves to do. We can't make excuses. Well, my mom was this way, or my dad was this way. Well, this is how my family is. We can't make excuses, but we need to dig deep inside of our souls and find out, why do we do the things that we do? Our bodies and our souls are like an onion. There's so many peelings until you get to the center. It's like an apple. Is the outside really nice and shiny? But once you get deep inside, there's a hole there and there's a worm and it's all full of decay? Or is your heart good? And as you peel away all of the skin, you find that your core being is good and kind and loving. Or is decayed and ugly. That doesn't mean you have to stay that way. It doesn't mean that you can't change today. We can change who we are no matter what age we are. We work on it. It's a day-by-day thing. We don't ever conquer it, but we work on it and we become better people. I want to encourage you in this day and age that no matter what your circumstances you're in and how the internet treats you or how you treat others on the internet, I want you to take a look at yourself. Don't take a look at Frank beside you or Susie or Carmen. Take a look at yourself and see What can I do? I've been guilty of these things. Although I never talk mean about people, I've had friends that did so. And I realized that just because my friend's done something doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's wrong. You need to go by your instinct. What do you feel is right? What do you feel is wrong? Because for me, body shaming someone else is wrong. It will never be right, no matter who I love that's doing it. I touch upon subjects that some people would say, Tessie, don't you ever talk about that. I touch upon subjects that people would say, oh my goodness, I can't believe she's saying that. I've always been this way. I've always been this way since day one, if you go back to all of my heart-to-hearts. Because I want to share with you my life. I want to share with you the things I'm learning. It doesn't matter if I'm 50 years old and I'm only learning these things. At least I'm learning them. Some people would think I'm too old to only be learning these things now. What in the world have I been doing? But we're all learning things. It depends on our social skills. It depends on our growing up. Some people grew up in the world. They grew up around different types of people. They grew up around different situations. They lived a hard life. They've been in the city. They know how it is out in the world. And then some of us are like me, where we're very sheltered our whole life. We were only around a certain type of person, a person like we were. We looked the same, we talked the same, we acted the same, our thought patterns were the same. And now I'm learning these things. It doesn't matter how we've grown up, it doesn't matter how we lived our life, it matters the here and the now, and what we're learning now. So I continue to go on, and I continue to share with people an encouragement to love ourselves. An encouragement to not be so hard on yourself when you make mistakes. I've always been the kind of girl that's so hard on myself whenever I've made a mistake. I thought, man, I did it again. But we're human and we all make mistakes in life. And we need to learn that that's okay to make mistakes. Just try to be better the next time. And that's why I've always vowed to be an open book. To share with you my heart, to share with you everything about me, even the mistakes I made. Because when you share your mistakes with other people, you realize that you're not alone, and you think, wow, whew, I'm not alone in this. And when you share your mistakes, it shows to other people that you're human, that you have a human side to you. We're never going to be perfect, but loving one another. Appearances can be deceiving. You can look upon someone who has very fancy clothing and you can say, oh my goodness, look at her. She's got it all put together. And really, maybe in reality, her home is falling apart. You may look upon someone who has a certain weight and say, well, look at her. Look how lazy she is. I mean, I would never be that overweight. But you don't know what that person is going through. Maybe they even eat half of what you eat. We do this all the times, and that's why I say that appearances can be deceiving, because we can look at someone and we can judge them by their appearance and judge them for what we see, but we don't know what's in their heart. I'm guilty of this. We all are. How many times do we go to the grocery store and we see somebody with a cart full of food and it's food that would be not good for you, and we judge them and say, well, look at them. Look at the kind of food they're eating. I'm judged every day on my YouTube channel. Somebody comes in, a stranger who doesn't know me, and looks at my channel and says something. But you know what? When we're thinking about that, take a deep breath and think, well, I don't know what they're like. I've not lived in their shoes. I don't know what their circumstances is. Learn to love them through the eyes of God. God loves everyone. That doesn't mean we condone what some people do. We hold on to our traditions. We hold on to our own values. We hold on to our own beliefs. But yet we can love the person, but not mock them. And that is what I'm trying to do on a day-to-day basis. I welcome everyone into my life, even people that I don't condone the things they do, and I don't have the same beliefs as they do. But I want to be their friend, and I want to show them respect and love. When God takes the blinders off your eyes, you see the world in a different view. And that's what I want to encourage you today. See the world in a different view. See the world in a view that maybe is a view beyond your own circumstances. See the world beyond your own walls. And then, truly then, you will have a heart and love for all people, no matter what they look like, no matter how they act, and no matter how they treat you. Take care, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow.